Yo, what's going on, peeps? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard, finishing up my night here. Just going to jump on, do a quick live stream before I hit the road. I want to talk about mental health, and actually I want to talk about how the exciting sports that are happening right now, how that's been of great help to my mental health. I don't know if you guys are ever in a situation where you deal with depression or you deal with anxiety. I always tell people that I feel that I am a high functioning depressive, right? I've had a lot of emotional things that have happened in my past, a lot of trauma, a lot of things that, I've dealt with, that I continue to deal with, a lot of things that I'm still trying to push through. But one of the beautiful things about me, if I can like kind of self-assess here for a second, one of the beautiful things about me, and also one of the most damaging things about me, is that I'm a very empathetic person. I feel things very, very deeply. I'm an extremely passionate person, passionate about the people that I love, the people that I care about, the things that I love and I care about. I feel them very, very deeply. So, my emotions kind of like roll like a roller coaster. So for me, dealing with depression, it can be very difficult at times, right? But one of my escapes, my whole life, one of my escapes has always been sports. It's been sports, it's been entertainment, just a way to kind of, cut through the bullshit, cut through the issues that you're dealing with, be able to unplug, decompress and watch sports. Growing up in the 90s, huge Chicago Bulls fan, Dallas Cowboys fan, big pro wrestling fan, right? When I was going through my time in the military, that was like the Attitude Era, right? And all of the guys that I was in the military with, we would get together and we would watch, different wrestling pay-per-views. And then when the UFC got big, watching all the UFC fights from the very, very first, all the way through, the Brock Lesnar era, the CM Punk era, all that stuff, you can even tell right now, just talking about it, I get excited. So in the last couple of months, sports has just gotten so good. I don't know if you guys watched the NCAA, the women's NCAA the last couple of days, watching this whole Caitlin Clark phenomenon. I am not a big women's basketball fan. If I'm being really honest, I've actually never been a fan of the WNBA. I've never really been a fan of women's basketball in general, but just watching this Caitlin Clark, situation and how she's just kind of blossomed and grown into this superstar, right? Seeing the big three, Ice Cube's big three, offer her $5 million to come and play with the guys, and then having that rematch between Iowa and LSU the other night, and the numbers, I think it got like the highest rating for a women's basketball game ever. And if you watch that game, like, she's phenomenal, right? That's exciting. Like, for that moment in time watching that game, that was super exciting. If you are a pro wrestling fan, if you've ever been a pro wrestling fan, like right now, The Rock is back in the WWE. He's got a major role in terms of management and production. He's in this angle right now leading up to WrestleMania. Like, wrestling, pro wrestling has never been as hot as it is right now in like the last 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? The NBA, there's a lot of great things going on in the NBA here in Portland. We've got Major League Soccer. It's a great time to be a sports fan. And for me, that has been very beneficial to my mental health. I really want to know, for anybody that's watching this, anybody that's watching this now, or anybody that watches this in the future, what is it that you use to disconnect and unplug to help regulate your mental health? I don't know if you're ever going through depression, if you deal with anxiety, if you have issues that you're struggling with, but what is it that you do that allows you to unplug, decompress, and deal with your issues, or maybe even just kind of put your issues off to the side for a little bit and be able to just kind of get through everything? Um, it's crazy. It's crazy how something so simple as just, you know, hang on one second, stand by. All right. Had an interesting vehicle pulling up there for a second. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy how something as simple as sports can make you happy, you know? I used to dive into tattoos. That was my thing. Like if I was ever dealing with a lot of depression, dealing with any sort of struggle, like I would get tattooed. And I have over 30 tattoos. So that tells you kind of like, you know, where my emotions were when I was younger. You know what I mean? But as I've gotten older, you know, I might want to get one or two more, but, you know, I don't feel the need to cover myself in ink anymore like I used to. You know, I'm more than happy to lean into watching sports, watching UFC. I am concerned and excited about this Jake Paul Mike Tyson match. I am so excited to see Mike Tyson fight again. My only concern is that I'm worried that this whole thing is rigged. I don't know like what you guys think, but you know, if you've seen the videos of Mike Tyson training, Mike Tyson working out, he looks like an absolute beast. Now, he's pushing 60. I think that a lot of people like they hate on Jake Paul. They hate on like the Paul brothers in general, but I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Like, if Jake Paul was not the Nickelodeon dude, like people would really put some respect on him. Like, he's a big dude. I think he's, you know, steroided out of his mind, but you know that there's no disrespect there. But he trains with a world champion boxer. Like, he's a legit athlete. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Like, I think that if he truly wants to, you know, excel in boxing, I think that he has an opportunity to do that. My only thing is that all of the fights that he has, they're all put on by his company. He seems to be in control of like the rules, the regulations, and there's an air of it that just seems like it could be rigged. I really don't want to see Mike Tyson, the legend of Mike Tyson, go out there and get starched on some bullshit. Now, if Jake Paul legitimately, you know, puts it on him, then like, so be it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But there's just something about the entire situation that just does not feel legitimate to me. I don't know. I don't know, man. And I feel like it's going to be a bad look. If I can be 100% honest, it's going to be a bad look for the culture. It's going to be a bad look for the culture if Mike loses. So, I don't know. I'm worried about it. I'm excited. I'm definitely in. Like, I'm going to have a big party, have people over. Like, I'm buying pizza. I'm supplying the alcohol. Like, I am 100% in for the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. I just worry that it's going to be on some bullshit. I don't know. What do y'all think? Somebody says Mike better win. Yeah, Yeah, WrestleMania is in Philly this year. I used to live in Philadelphia. If I was in Philadelphia now and WrestleMania was coming, I would totally go. I would spend the money. I've always wanted to go to WrestleMania. I don't know how much the tickets are. Like, I wonder if they're crazy or if it's like something that is doable. I think the most that I would pay for something like that would be, I could see myself dropping 500. I would drop 500 for something that I really wanted to see. Whether it was like WrestleMania or whether it was like a playoff game, I would not spend over $500 though. I don't know, maybe. I spent a lot of money for Kevin Hart tickets once. I was dating this girl. She really wanted, matter of fact, it was in Philly. It was in Philly in 2016. I was dating this girl. She really wanted to see Kevin Hart. And this is when Kevin Hart was like, I mean, he's big now, but 2016, he was on fire. And I spent about $780 for these VIP tickets to see Kevin Hart. I didn't laugh one time. He was horrible. He was horrible. The guys that opened for him were so funny. And then he came out, he did his show, and it was like, it was horrible. Yeah, I was so upset at how much money I had spent on those tickets and how bad he was. But yeah. What do y'all think? Y'all think the Mike Tyson fight is going to be legit? The Jake Paul, do you think the Jake Paul fight is going to be legit, or do you think that it's staged? Because I'm assuming that they're going to draw crazy money, that they're going to make a lot of money on that thing. You know? I don't know. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think One thing that I think is kind of negative, I'm talking about how like it's been awesome to see all of these things that are happening in sports right now. One thing that I don't like, it seems like a lot of the sporting events are being polarized into like a racial thing. I felt like the NCAA tournament between, or the game between Caitlin Clark, the game between Iowa and LSU, your stars being Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese. Like it seemed like a lot of the conversation on X was kind of delving into this like take sides type thing. A lot of the conversation on sports talk television revolved around like this racial dynamic. I'm not really feeling that. And then, even I said, like, if Mike Tyson loses to Jake Paul, it's going to kind of be like a negative for the culture. Like, even right there, like, I'm kind of playing into that. I'm seeing a lot of that. I don't want to say division, but almost like this undercurrent. I think that's a negative. I wish that we could just appreciate the awesomeness of the sporting spectacle, right? The whole situation that happened this past, Monday between the women's teams, Iowa and LSU, that was huge for women's basketball. Like, I don't even like women's basketball, and I'm talking about women's basketball. Like, that's an amazing thing. That's elevating the entire sport. I have 3 daughters. Like, to me, that's so amazing that, like, people are talking about a women's sport the same way we would be talking about, the men's NCAA or the NBA or any of that. I think it's dope that Mike Tyson, when he's pushing 60, is going to be fighting a guy, and there's a legitimate chance that it could go either way. Like, we're not saying, oh, Mike Tyson's 60, he's washed up. Like, that's dope. You know what I mean? So, like, it's really kind of sad that there's this undercurrent, this undertone of, like, racial dynamics that's playing into it. I wish that wasn't the case. Like, I'm hopeful that one day we can just get to a place where we can just appreciate the greatness, and it doesn't have to be something negative. PBE says $500 a ticket, you may get 15th or the 20th row. Oh, that's right. My man PBE here, he's from Philly. So you're saying that the $500, man, you're going to be up like pretty high. I wonder what the price is for WrestleMania tickets. Samuel says, wait. John says, if Mike doesn't knock him out cold, shit is rigged. And Samuel says this. You're agreeing with that. Says Mike better win. Yeah. Oh, man. I can't wait, though. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So, yeah, hey, before I get out of here, just drop in the comments right now if you have time. Drop in the comments if you, like, what do you do to lower your stress levels, to manage your mental health, to deal with your anxiety? Is it sports? Is it playing sports? Is it watching sports? Is it working out? Like, are you in therapy? Like, whatever it is. Like, I want to start talking about mental health. I want to talk about, like, from a perspective of men, what we're doing as men to address our mental health. Like, in 2024, we don't need to swallow our mental health and like sit on it and just stress out about it and just try and deal with it. We need to normalize talking about it. We need to normalize having these conversations and being okay with like saying, hey, look, I'm dealing with some shit. I'm stressed out, right? My man says cook steak. Morris says Muay Thai, lift and play. Okay. Yeah, I'm with that. A good long walk every morning with the dog helps too. Guys, one of the things that I looked forward to in my day was spending time with my dog. I absolutely loved my dog. And my dog attacked my wife back in January, and we had to put the dog down. So not only did I have to deal with like the issue of my wife being mutilated and hurt, which was heartbreaking to me, for her to have to go through that. We also had to put our dog down, and that was horrible. And that's been something that's been super stressful for me. It's been very, very heavy on my heart to not have my boy, to know that he hurt my wife is absolutely horrible. And then to know that we had to put him down is absolutely horrible. So it's like the candle is being burnt at both ends in that situation. So that is one of the things that has been very difficult for me, something I've struggled with, something that has been very hard for me to get over and to get past. So, that's one of the things that I wish that I had was my dog, to be able to walk with my dog. So, Bro Morris says if it helps, she doesn't look mutilated. You can go for family walks daily. Yeah, my wife's trauma surgeon was amazing. Guys, I want to give a shout out to that doctor. When my wife went to the hospital, when we were in the emergency room, she was completely just torn apart. And we're devastated. Both of us are devastated. I'm trying to be strong for her at the moment. And the doctor comes in. He comes in. He's a trauma surgeon, and he looks at me. This was the most amazing thing, right? He comes in, and he goes, "Are you the husband?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come here for a second." And he pulls me aside and he gives me a hug and he leans in and he goes, "I'm going to take care of her, bro. I got her." I'm like, "What?" You know what I mean? He's like, "I'm going to take care of her. I got her." And he goes over to her and she pulls down this mask that she has on and her face is just shredded up. And the doctor just like grabs her face and he puts it all back together. And he's like looking at her and he goes, "I can fix this." And he goes, "Look, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. This is bad." He goes, "But I've seen worse. I've dealt with worse today." He goes, "I'm going to fix this." He goes, "I'm going to get you all fixed up tonight. I'm going to send you home tonight. I'm going to make sure that you're sleeping in your bed tonight." He goes, "Now, you're going to have to heal. You're going to have to get better. We're going to have to do a lot of work." He goes, "But, by June, July, we'll be talking about going through your last surgery and you're going to be fine." Guys, my wife's mouth was completely ripped apart. Her nose was detached. Like, it was horrible. And this doctor, I mean, he had her sewn up within 3 or 4 hours, and he's been amazing. Just having somebody tell us that, like, "Hey, this is going to be okay. It's bad. I know you're concerned. I know you're worried. I know that you're completely just in this horrible place, but it's going to be okay." Like, that was amazing. And yeah, that doctor was phenomenal. So all that being said, my wife is doing much better. She's healed phenomenal. And her attitude and her outlook is so great. You know what I mean? Her being strong, her being just a fucking rock, like, that has been so good for me. Again, like I told you guys, I'm empathetic. So I feel what she's going through. I feel the pain. I feel that hurt, that devastation, like everything. But her being so strong has been very good for me. So anyway, all that being said, like, again, I want to know what you guys do to kind of handle those things in your situations. Let's see what he says here. Working out has been helping to keep the stress at bay for me. I'm down about 40 pounds. ZC, way to go, man. I'm slowly gaining muscle. That's awesome. I love it. Would recommend to our overweight and obese brothers. Yeah, man, get in the gym. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bro Morris says, "Praise Yahweh for that." Yeah, absolutely. Samuel says, "Wow, I'm glad that things are working out. I hope it continues to work out." Yep. And ZC says, "Blessed." Yeah, man, God has been good. You know what? I think that, like, talking about this with you guys and being on here and then reading that last comment, like, blessed, the focus needs to be more on my relationship with God. Like, I need to lean on God more. I really do. I need to lean on that relationship because he's provided, and he's been there in these situations, and he's got us out of some tough spots. So definitely need to lean more on my faith. All right, guys, I appreciate you letting me rant about pro wrestling, women's basketball, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, my mental health issues, my wife, my dog. You know what I mean? So, I appreciate that. Yeah. Did you get that copy of the scriptures? Yeah, absolutely. I got it, man. Yep. And ZC says, "As do I." Absolutely. All right, well, guys, I'm going to go home. It's time to get something to eat. All right. Y'all be safe. You be great. Thanks for talking to me tonight. Y'all be safe.